Many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22, verse 14. If you found your way to this video, it's not by accident. You didn't stumble here randomly. There are no coincidences when you're one of the chosen. Something inside you already knows this. You've always felt different, haven't you? Like you were meant for something greater. Like you carry a silent weight, a deeper responsibility that most people don't even notice. You couldn't always explain it, but you've always known you were born for more. This message isn't for everyone. It's not supposed to be, this is for the few, the rare souls marked by something divine. This is for the ones who are called to rise higher, walk a different path, and lead with light in a world full of shadows. If that's not you, feel free to click away. What I'm about to say won't make sense unless your spirit is ready to hear it. But if it is you, if your heart just started beating a little faster, then stay with me, because what you're about to hear could change the direction of your entire journey. I'm talking to the ones who were set apart, the ones with a mission, the ones who've always felt like they were being prepared for something bigger. This video holds keys, spiritual truths that can unlock what's been waiting for you all along. But hear me, you need to be ready, because the path of the chosen isn't easy. The forces against you are strong. But with preparation, wisdom, and protection, you will not fall. You're not here by chance. You were led. Now let's begin with something most people overlook. The power of secrecy. The power of secrecy. A message to the chosen. If you're listening right now, it's not by mistake. You were led here. Chosen one. It's time to talk about something that most people will never understand. Something sacred. The importance of secrecy. Now, I don't mean secrecy rooted in fear or deception. I'm talking about sacred discretion. The wisdom to know what to say, when to say it, and who truly deserves to hear it. See, if you're chosen, your energy speaks before you do. People sense something different about you, and they react to it, even if they don't understand it. Some will be drawn to your light. Others will feel threatened by it. Some may try to get close just to dim that light or copy your path without ever understanding the purpose behind it. And that's exactly why we start with this. Protect what's sacred. Guard what's divine. This world doesn't understand what you carry. The road you're walking isn't visible to everyone. You weren't meant to be fully understood. In fact, being misunderstood is part of the assignment. Jesus gave us a warning for a reason. Do not give what is holy to dogs. Do not throw your pearls to pigs, or they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Matthew 7, verse 6. You, chosen one, carry pearls, gems of wisdom, divine insight, spiritual understanding. These are not for show. They are not for performance. They're not meant to be tossed out for the approval or acceptance of others. Because here's the truth. Not everyone is ready. Not everyone is meant to understand your purpose. And sadly, some will use what you share to try and harm you, discredit you, or weaken your spirit. That's why secrecy is not about hiding. It's about protecting. Secret number 1. Protect your spiritual insights, your spiritual downloads, your moments of revelation, your whispers from God. They are sacred. These are the moments that shape your path and strengthen your soul. But hear me clearly. Not every spiritual insight is meant to be shared, especially not with people who aren't spiritually awake. They won't get it. They'll roll their eyes, make jokes, or worse, twist your words into something they were never meant to be. It's not because your message is wrong. It's because their ears are closed. Look at the prophets throughout time. They didn't share everything with everyone. Sometimes they spoke in parables. Other times, they waited for divine timing. Why? Because they understood the weight of what they carried. They knew that revelation delivered at the wrong time or to the wrong person could create more harm than good. You've got to treat your spiritual insight like treasure, because it is. Not for show, not for debate, not for convincing the crowd. It's for you, for your growth, your protection, your preparation. You'll know when it's time to speak. The Spirit will guide you. Until then, hold it close, because what's divine in you can't be exposed to what's still in the dark. The world won't always understand you, and that's okay. If you ever walk away from a conversation feeling confused, hurt, or even ashamed after opening up about something spiritual, now you know why. They weren't ready. You weren't wrong. You just tried to give something sacred to someone still stuck in the surface. Let that go. Your calling isn't to explain yourself to everyone. Your mission is to stay aligned, stay obedient, and stay discerning. Discernment is your armor. Coming up next, secret number 2, guard your vulnerabilities. The world doesn't need to see all your scars to know you're strong. Next, we'll talk about how to protect your emotional and spiritual vulnerabilities from the wrong eyes, because a chosen must learn when to speak, but also when to remain silent. Your silence can be your strongest protection. Your wisdom, your greatest weapon. Stay with me. The journey continues. Secret 2, guard your vulnerabilities like sacred ground. Let's talk about something most people don't like to admit, especially those of us called to something higher. Yes, even the chosen ones have moments of weakness. You may be spiritually anointed, divinely guided, and walking a powerful path, but you're still human. And being human means you'll feel things deeply. You'll face doubt. You'll wrestle with fear. You'll hit moments of exhaustion that try to break you. That's part of the journey. But here's the truth no one tells you. Not everyone deserves to see you when you're down, because not everyone has a heart that will respond with compassion. Not every shoulder is safe. In a perfect world, being vulnerable would always lead to deeper connection, understanding, and healing. But this world isn't perfect. This world is spiritual war. And in this world, when you show your wounds to the wrong people, you give them a map to your soul, and not everyone's intentions are pure. Some will pretend to care, only to weaponize your weakness later. Some will smile to your face while secretly feeding off your pain. Some will use your struggle as gossip fuel, and others, driven by envy or darkness, will aim their attacks right at the softest parts of you. That's why discernment is everything. Being real doesn't mean being reckless. Being open doesn't mean being exposed. Energy is currency, and your pain is valuable to the wrong people. In today's world, energy is the real currency. And when you're chosen, you carry spiritual energy that attracts people like a flame draws moths. But here's the problem. Not everyone is drawn to your light to celebrate it. Some come to feed off it, to take, not to give, to copy, not to learn, to get close, not to support, but to observe and strike when you're at your lowest. These are energy parasites. They thrive on drama, on access, on weakness. And the moment you show a crack, they slip through it. That's why guarding your emotional and spiritual vulnerabilities is not a sign of fear. It's a sign of wisdom. Even Jesus protected his vulnerable moments. Let's go back to Jesus, our divine example. In his most vulnerable hour, when the way of the cross was looming, when fear and sorrow consumed him, he didn't bring the crowd with him. He didn't break down in front of the masses. He withdrew to the Garden of Gethsemane with only a few of his closest disciples. And even then, he prayed alone. That wasn't weakness. That was sacred discernment. He knew some things are meant to be carried privately. Some tears are meant for the Father's eyes only. So what should you do? Let's be clear. I'm not telling you to hide your humanity. You're not a robot. You're not a machine. You don't have to carry everything on your own. But what I am telling you is this. Choose your circle wisely. Everyone doesn't deserve access to your heart. Everyone doesn't deserve the backstage pass to your inner world. Your pain is precious. Your healing is sacred. And your vulnerability is not entertainment. It is spiritual territory, and only the trustworthy should be allowed in. How to know who's worthy of your vulnerability. So how do you know who's safe? How do you know who deserves to see behind the curtain? Watch how they treat other people's wounds. If they laugh at someone else's breakdown, they'll laugh at yours, too. Pay attention to what they do with your trust. Do they hold it gently? Or do they turn it into conversation for others? Let time test them. People reveal their true selves over time. Don't rush access. Trust earned is trust protected. Pray for discernment. Divine guidance will never lead you wrong. Ask, and you'll be shown who's safe and who's not. Your pain is not for public display. As a chosen one, Your path comes with pain, but that pain is not for display. It's not for exploitation. And it's definitely not for those who haven't proven their loyalty. You are on a divine mission, and every part of you, including your most fragile parts, is part of that mission. You are being shaped, refined, and elevated, but you must protect your sacred process. So guard your heart, guard your soul, guard your tears. And remember, vulnerability is not weakness, it's sacred, and sacred things are never for everyone. Coming up next, Secret 3, guard your energy like a sacred flame. Your energy is what fuels your purpose. But the world is full of people who come to take, not give. In the next section, we'll break down how to recognize energy drainers and protect your light before they leave you running on empty. Secret 3, guard your energy like a sacred flame. There's something you carry that most people don't. It's not just your skills, your voice, or even your wisdom. It's your energy, and it's different. As a chosen one, your energy hits different. You light up a room without trying. People are drawn to you, sometimes without knowing why. They feel something around you, something calming, powerful, and magnetic. That's not a coincidence. That's your divine frequency. But here's the catch. What makes you radiant also makes you a target. Your energy is your spiritual currency. Think of your energy like money. It's valuable, it's limited, and it's always being spent, whether you realize it or not. Every conversation, every interaction, every time you show up for someone, you're spending energy. But are you investing it? Or are you being robbed? Because the truth is, not everyone who smiles in your face is good for your spirit. Not everyone who calls you friend is pouring back into you. Some people come with empty cups and endless thirsts, and if you're not careful, they'll leave you bone dry. The quiet thieves of your light. Energy vampires don't wear capes. They often come disguised as loved ones, co-workers, even people you're trying to help. They bring drama, negativity, constant problems, and they always need something. But here's the pattern. They take and take, but never pour back in. You know the feeling. You hang out with someone, and afterward, you're emotionally exhausted. You try to help, but no matter what you say or do, it's never enough. You leave the interaction feeling heavy, drained, and sometimes even anxious or angry. That's not your imagination. That's your spirit saying, you're being pulled out of alignment. You're not here to be everyone's battery pack. Yes, you have a calling. Yes, you are meant to uplift, to guide, to serve. But hear this loud and clear. Service without boundaries leads to spiritual burnout. Even Jesus didn't heal everyone. He withdrew. He rested. He spent time alone and with his inner circle. He knew the power of preserving energy for mission. And so must you. 3 ways to protect your sacred flame. 1. Listen to your spirit. Your energy never lies. When you feel off after being around someone, trust that drained, foggy, or frustrated feeling is your internal system warning you. This person is withdrawing more than they're depositing. Your intuition is divine. Start listening to it. 2. Get comfortable saying no. Let this sink in. Saying no doesn't make you mean. It makes you wise. You don't owe everyone access. You don't have to pick up every call. You're not required to rescue everyone from their chaos. If you're always available to everyone, you're available to no one, including yourself. Guarding your time and energy is a form of self-respect and spiritual obedience. 3. Choose your circle carefully. You are the average of the 5 people closest to you. So ask yourself, do they drain you or recharge you? Do they understand your path or pull you off it? Your inner circle should inspire peace, not pressure. Upliftment, not obligation. They should light your fire, not smother it. Even Jesus had 12, and within the 12, there were 3 he trusted most. Quality over quantity. Always. Your light is meant to shine, not burn out. Here's the bottom line. Your energy is divine. It's rare. It's a force that can change lives. But you can't be light for others if your own flame is dying out. So protect it. Tend to it. Be selective. Because your mission is too important to be slowed down by the wrong people draining your power. You are not here to be everything for everyone. You are here to be aligned, focused, and fully charged for the work that actually matters. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and lets you know when I upload more content like this. Now, let's get back to the video. Coming up next, Secret 4, protect your peace like it's holy ground. Because when your peace is stolen, your clarity fades. And without clarity, even the chosen can lose their way. In the next section, we'll talk about how to build inner peace that no one can shake, no matter what's happening around you. Secret 4, keep your presence sacred. Let's go deeper now, not just into your energy, but your presence, the space you take up, the stillness you bring, the light that surrounds you before you even speak. You see, this isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Your presence is not ordinary. It carries a vibration that shifts atmospheres. Sometimes you walk into a room, and people pause without knowing why. You say a few words, and suddenly the energy changes. That's not just charisma, that's calling. But here's what many chosen ones don't realize until it's too late. Your presence is sacred, and it must be protected. You're not just here, you're assigned. You weren't randomly dropped into this world. You were placed here with purpose. Your presence has weight. It holds healing. It carries clarity. It brings peace to the chaotic, conviction to the wayward, and strength to the weary. But not everyone will appreciate that. In fact, your very existence will make some people uncomfortable. Some will admire you. Some will envy you. And others will try to shrink you, dim you, or distract you because your light exposes what they've buried. You must be intentional with your space. Let's be honest. Not everyone deserves access to you. That might sound harsh, but it's spiritual wisdom. You wouldn't take a diamond and toss it into the dirt. You wouldn't pour the finest wine into a cracked cup. So why keep placing your sacred presence into spaces that can't hold or honor it? Your peace, your power, your presence. It's all too valuable to be handled carelessly. Here's how you keep your presence sacred. 1. Be discerning about where you go. Some rooms aren't meant for you. Some crowds aren't safe for your spirit. It's not always about physical danger. Sometimes it's spiritual pollution, negativity, jealousy, gossip, low vibrations that latch onto your light and try to drain it. You're more sensitive than most. You might laugh and brush it off in public. But when you get home, you feel off, heavy, disconnected. That's your soul speaking. Listen to it. Start being selective with your time, your surroundings, and your invitations. 2. Recognize your presence as a gift, not a guarantee. Some people will come into your life just to consume what you carry. They'll want your insight, your energy, your attention, but they'll never value you for who you are. So here's the truth. Access to you should be earned, not assumed. This isn't about ego. It's about self-respect. You are not here to be everyone's therapist, healer, or emotional life raft. Your presence is a spiritual investment. Stop pouring it into people and places that keep showing you they aren't ready to grow. 3. Make room for solitude. Often, being outside too much can stretch you thin. Being available too often will blur your vision. Sometimes the most sacred thing you can do is disappear for a while. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's alignment. It's where clarity comes. It's where the noise quiets. It's where the divine whispers the next step. Even Jesus, a man with the greatest mission of all, regularly withdrew to pray, reflect, and recharge. If he needed time alone to maintain his power and peace, what makes us think we don't? Step away, close the door, unplug, be still. You'll return stronger, clearer, and more protected. Protecting your presence is protecting your power. Here's what it all comes down to. You've been called to shift lives, touch hearts, and carry light into dark places. But if you don't guard your presence, the very thing that makes you powerful can become your weakness. So move with intention. Let your presence be earned, not wasted. Let your solitude be sacred, not neglected. Let your boundaries be clear, not optional. Not everyone should walk with you. Not every space deserves your light. Not every request deserves a yes. You are here on assignment. To do that well, you must protect the very essence of who you are. Coming up next, Secret 5, speak with purpose. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the power of your words and why the chosen must speak with clarity, intention, and truth. Because your voice isn't just sound, it's a tool for creation. Secret 5, the power of silence. In a world that runs on noise, where everyone's talking, posting, shouting to be heard, there's something rare and powerful about choosing silence. It's not weakness. It's not fear. It's mastery. Silence is strength wearing humility. It's wisdom dressed in stillness. And for the chosen ones, silence isn't just golden, it's sacred. When you stop speaking, you start listening to the divine. You weren't called to be average. You weren't chosen to blend in. And when you're walking a divine path, you start noticing things others miss. You realize some of the greatest battles aren't fought with words. They're won in silence. You see, silence isn't the absence of power. It's the concentration of it. When you choose not to react in the heat of the moment, when you hold your peace in a room full of chaos, when you walk away instead of clapping back, that's spiritual authority in action. Every word you speak costs energy. Let's keep it real. How many times have you said something out of anger, stress, or ego and regretted it later? Words, once released, can't be pulled back. They create ripple effects in hearts and minds, sometimes for good and sometimes for harm. But silence? Silence is a pause. Silence is a filter. It gives your spirit room to breathe before your mouth sets fire to things better left unburned. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and lets you know when I upload more content like this. Now, let's get back to the video. Your silence can speak louder than your voice. Here's the twist. Not every response needs to be said out loud. Not every insult needs a comeback. Not every argument needs a winner. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. When people try to provoke you, drag you into drama, or challenge your path, you don't need to convince them of your worth. You don't need to prove your calling to people who were never meant to understand it. Even Jesus, when accused, stayed silent. He wasn't trying to win an argument. He was focused on completing his mission. Take that in. He didn't need their validation. He had revelation. Silence protects what's sacred. As a chosen one, you are more sensitive to energy than most. You pick up on tension, deceit, envy, sometimes before a word is spoken. This is why silence isn't just a tool, it's a shield. When you don't respond to negativity, you guard your peace. When you pause before reacting, you reclaim your power. When you let fools talk, you reveal their ignorance without lifting a finger. You don't have to attend every battle you're invited to. You don't have to defend your spirit to people who don't even recognize their own. But don't get it twisted. There's a time to speak. Let's make something clear. Silence isn't about being passive. It's about being strategic. There will be times when your voice is required. When the Spirit nudges you to speak truth, defend justice, or pour wisdom into someone who's ready to grow, don't hold back. But learn to recognize the difference between a divine calling to speak and a wounded ego looking for a fight. That difference, it's called discernment. How to know when to be silent. Here's a simple practice. Before you speak, especially in emotionally charged situations, pause and ask, is this worth my energy? Will my words bring light or just more fire? Am I speaking from my higher self or reacting from my lower self? Will this help my mission or just satisfy my pride? 9 times out of 10, silence will give you the upper hand, not because you're afraid to speak, but because you've outgrown the need to prove. Silence is a weapon, a shield, and a gateway. Silence is how you recharge. Silence is how you observe what others miss. Silence is how the Spirit whispers guidance to your soul. Talk less, listen more, and when you do speak, let your words carry weight, not just sound. Final truth. Silence isn't emptiness, it's full of power. In silence, your wisdom deepens. Your energy is protected. Your connection to the divine sharpens. So don't be afraid to be the quiet one, the observer, the thinker, the one who doesn't react but responds with purpose. You weren't chosen to be loud. You were chosen to be impactful. Coming up next, Secret 6, the art of discretion. Now that you've embraced silence, it's time to master something even deeper: discretion. Knowing not just when to speak, but what to reveal and to whom. Your power grows when your movements are quiet and your intentions are clear. Secret 6, the art of discretion. In a world obsessed with exposure, where every detail of life is broadcasted for likes, followers, or validation, you are called to move differently. You are chosen, and as someone walking a sacred path, there are parts of your journey that aren't meant for public view. Some things are too precious, too powerful, and too in progress to be placed under the spotlight. That's where discretion comes in. Discretion is spiritual protection. Discretion isn't about fear or hiding. It's not about being secretive for the sake of being mysterious. It's about wisdom. It's about timing. It's about recognizing that not everyone is meant to have access to your inner world. See, every time you share something, you open a door. And not everyone who walks through that door comes in peace. Some will misunderstand. Some will envy. Some, without even knowing it, might project doubt, fear, or negativity onto your path. And when your spirit is still growing, when your roots are still digging deep, the wrong energy at the wrong time can shake your foundation. Some things must grow in the dark. Think about a seed. Before it ever reaches the surface, it's buried in darkness. It grows quietly, silently, out of sight. If you dig it up too soon to show someone, it dies. Your journey is no different. Your dreams, your revelations, your progress, they all need space to take root without judgment, interference, or premature praise. When you're chosen, your life becomes a spiritual assignment. And that means being careful, very careful about what you share, when you share, and who you share it with. Why discretion matters in the digital age. Let's be real. We live in a time where oversharing is normal. Social media has made it easy to put our lives on display 24/7. Milestones, breakdowns, opinions, relationships, all of it. But here's the truth. Just because the world is watching doesn't mean they deserve a front row seat to your soul. Oversharing invites energy that's not always safe. It gives people ammunition, whether they mean harm or not. And most importantly, it distracts you from your mission. As a chosen one, your journey isn't for entertainment. It's for transformation. Your growth isn't for applause. It's for purpose. Guard your growth. There will be moments when Spirit reveals something just for you. An insight, a breakthrough, a shift that hits you so deep, it changes the way you see everything. These moments aren't meant to be posted. They're meant to be lived. You're not hiding it because you're unsure. You're hiding it because it's holy. Sometimes, silence is the strongest form of reverence. And discretion is how you show the universe that you respect what you've been given. The enemy studies patterns, not intentions. Here's the spiritual side of this truth. The enemy, both human and unseen, doesn't need to know your heart. All they need is your habits, your words, and your direction. The more they know, the easier it becomes to block, distract, or derail you. That's why silence and discretion are part of your armor. When you move quietly, you move safely. When you grow privately, you grow powerfully. Discretion in relationships. Let's talk real. Not every connection should be shared with the world. You'll meet people, friends, mentors, lovers, who are deeply aligned with your soul. These relationships are sacred. But once you make them public, they're exposed energy that can pull them apart. Some people love you until others start noticing you. Others cheer for your love story until they envy it. Protect your sacred connections. Keep them covered in prayer, not posts. And remember, what's real doesn't need validation. It just needs cultivation. Moving in silence isn't hiding, it's building. When you're working on something important, your healing, your business, your calling, don't feel pressure to announce it before it's ready. Make moves, grow roots, put in the work behind the scenes so that when it's time, your results can speak for themselves. There's a quiet kind of confidence that comes from doing the work in silence, from making progress without needing praise, from growing while no one's watching, so that when they do, they see the glory, not the grind. Your peace is worth protecting. Silence and discretion are not just spiritual tools. They're survival skills in a noisy world. They protect your peace, your energy, and your alignment with the divine. Not everyone deserves access to your truth. Not every victory needs a witness. And not every battle requires a response. Choose privacy over performance. Choose sacredness over spectacle. And when the time comes to speak, let it be guided by purpose, not pride. Final word, protect what's becoming. Your life is being shaped by something bigger than you. And until it's fully formed, it's your job to protect it. Move quietly, love deeply, work faithfully. Let your presence be powerful, even when your process is private. Discretion isn't just wise. For the chosen ones, it's essential. Secret 7, master your emotions. Let's be real, emotions are part being human. No matter how strong, wise, or spiritually awakened you are, you're going to feel the full spectrum. Joy, sorrow, anger, love, frustration, hope, disappointment. That's normal. But here's the difference between someone just living and someone truly chosen for a purpose. You can't let your emotions run the show. To walk in purpose, you must master your emotions. Not suppress them, not ignore them, but understand and guide them. Emotions are like fire, powerful, useful, and even beautiful when controlled. But left unchecked, they'll burn everything in their path, including your destiny. So why is emotional mastery so important? Because you're not just existing, you're a spiritual warrior. And a warrior must be clear-headed and grounded, even in the heat of battle. When emotions take over, your judgment gets clouded. Your reactions get reckless. And in that state, you become vulnerable to manipulation, to distraction, even to defeat. Think about it. Chaos is the enemy's playground. And when you let your emotions lead, you hand over the keys to your inner world. Even the greatest leaders have stumbled here. Take Moses. He led an entire nation out of slavery. But in a moment of frustration, he struck a rock instead of speaking to it, disobeying God's instruction. That one act of anger cost him his chance to enter the promised land. Numbers 20:7-12. That's how serious it can get when emotions go unchecked. So, how do you master your emotions? It starts with self-awareness. You got to become deeply familiar with what's going on inside you. When anger flares, when sadness grips you, when anxiety creeps in, pause. Don't push it down. Don't run from it. Ask, why am I feeling this? Where is this coming from? Is this about now? Or is this an old wound still speaking? A lot of what we feel is tied to deeper roots. Fear, unmet needs, past pain. When you trace the emotion to its origin, you can start to heal it rather than just react to it. Next is emotional regulation. That means learning how to respond instead of react. When you feel overwhelmed, stop, breathe, get still. Give yourself a moment of clarity before you make a move. That short pause, it can save relationships. It can protect your peace. It can keep you aligned with your mission. Emotional mastery doesn't mean becoming cold or robotic. It means being wise. It means not letting emotions become the driver of your life. Suppressed emotions don't disappear. They build up and eventually explode. That's why you must acknowledge your feelings, but not be ruled by them. Here's the twist. Your emotions can actually become your superpower if you learn how to channel them. Righteous anger, that can drive justice. Deep sorrow, that can birth compassion. Frustration, that can fuel determination. Joy, that can overflow into inspiration for others. Ask yourself, how can I use this emotion to move forward? How can this feeling sharpen me rather than shake me? When you use your emotions as tools, not as masters, you step into your real power. You stay in control of your path, and you keep walking in alignment with your divine assignment. This is what separates the average from the chosen. This is mastery. Secret 8, maintaining balance, the anchor of a chosen life. Let's be honest, life pulls us in 1,000 directions. Responsibilities stack up. Work gets demanding. Relationships require energy. And in the middle of it all, your spiritual calling doesn't pause. As a chosen one, balance isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Without balance, even the most spiritually gifted can lose their footing. You could have the clearest vision, the strongest voice, and the biggest heart. But if you're not grounded, You'll burn out, fall off track, or disconnect from your divine purpose. Balance is your anchor. It keeps your soul steady while life's waves crash around you. It's what allows you to live fully in both the spiritual and the physical worlds, without getting lost in either. But let's be real. In today's fast-paced, noisy world, balance isn't easy. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you build, something you protect, something you practice. Here's how to do that. 1. Put spirit first, always. Think of your spiritual life as a GPS for your entire journey. Without it, you're just driving blind, no direction, no purpose, just motion. That's why, no matter how busy your schedule gets, you must make time for what connects you to the divine. Prayer, meditation, stillness, reflection, even just 5 minutes of silence with your eyes closed and your heart open. These aren't just routines. They're lifelines. They center you. They recharge you. They give you clarity when life gets foggy. 2. Self-care is not optional. It's strategy. You can't pour into others if your own cup is empty. Your spiritual self thrives when your physical and emotional selves are taken care of. That means eating nourishing food, getting real rest, moving your body, setting healthy boundaries, saying no to toxic environments. Joy is medicine. Peace is fuel. Your well-being is part of your purpose. Treat it like it matters, because it does. 3. Learn the power of no. Here's the twist. Being chosen doesn't mean saying yes to everything. People will be drawn to your light. They'll seek your advice, your help, your energy, and that's beautiful. But if you're not careful, you'll end up carrying burdens that don't belong to you. Saying no isn't selfish. It's wise. It's strong. It's survival. You're not here to rescue everyone. You're here to lead, to guide, and sometimes that means stepping back so you don't lose yourself in someone else's storm. 4. Stay grounded. Avoid extremes. Balance isn't just about what you do. It's about how you think. Watch out for extremes. Overworking yourself in the name of the grind. Over-isolating in the name of spiritual growth. Overgiving in the name of love. Overbelieving in anything without wisdom. Truth lives in the middle. Growth happens in the tension. Wisdom is found when you stay open to both spiritual truth and practical reality. You're living in both worlds, the seen and the unseen. Honor both. Walk with one foot in each and you'll find your balance. 5. Relationships. Choose wisely, love gently. Relationships have the power to either fuel your purpose or drain your soul. As a chosen one, your circle matters. Surround yourself with people who lift you, who respect your mission, who want to see you win in spirit and life. At the same time, don't harden your heart. Some people are struggling, lost, or hurting, and you may be the light they need. Just remember, you can shine beside them, but you're not called to burn out for them. Love them, guide them, but know when to step back and recharge. You're no good to anyone when you're empty. 6. Solitude and connection. Find your rhythm. Solitude is sacred. It's where you receive insight, healing, and power. But you're not here to isolate forever. You're here to impact, to uplift, to serve. So make space for both. Time alone to realign with your soul. Time with others to share your light. This rhythm will look different for everyone. Some need more silence. Others thrive in connection. Find what works for you and honor it. Final thought, balance isn't a destination. It's a practice. Mastering your emotions and maintaining balance aren't side quests. They're essential survival skills for the spiritually awakened. Emotion mastery keeps you focused. Balance keeps you grounded. Together, they make you unstoppable. You're walking a sacred path. Every step requires awareness, discipline, and grace. When you commit to a balanced life, you give yourself the strength to rise above chaos, the wisdom to lead others, and the clarity to stay aligned with your divine mission. This isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving with power, peace, and purpose. Secret 9. Protect your spirit, guarding your inner light. Let's get one thing straight. Not everyone can see what you see. Not everyone can feel what you feel. As a chosen one, you're different, more spiritually sensitive, more in tune with the energy around you. You notice a shift in a room, when someone walks in. You sense tension even when no words are spoken. You feel peace or disturbance before others can even name it. This spiritual sensitivity is a gift, but also comes with a responsibility. It makes you more open to the good, but also more exposed to bad. That includes negative energy, emotional heaviness, spiritual attacks, and unseen forces that aim to throw you off your path. You might feel it as sudden anxiety, emotional fatigue, doubt creeping in, feeling stuck or lost, even physical symptoms with no clear cause. If you felt these things out of nowhere, it's not always just stress. Sometimes it's spiritual warfare. That's why you must learn to protect your spirit, not out of fear, but out of love for your purpose. Here's how to do that. 1. Stay connected to your source. The most powerful protection you can have is your daily connection with the divine, whether you call that God, the universe, or the Creator. This connection is your spiritual shield, your anchor, your guidance system, your safe place when the world gets heavy. So how do you keep this connection strong? Through prayer, talking honestly with the divine, through meditation, quieting your mind to hear the whispers of truth, through reading sacred words that feed your soul. Think of it like plugging in your phone to recharge. Without that power source, it dies. Same with your spirit. Daily connection keeps your energy high and your vision clear. 2. Use spiritual tools with intention. Just like we use seatbelts to stay safe on the road, there are tools to help keep your spirit safe too. Here are a few: prayer and affirmations. Speak protection over your life. Declare peace. Declare strength. Crystals or symbols of faith. For some, these are reminders of divine energy. Use what aligns with your spirit. Calling on divine help. Don't underestimate the power of simply asking. Ask God to surround you with light. Ask your angels for protection. One of the most powerful prayers in spiritual tradition is the Lord's Prayer, especially the line, "And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." Matthew 6 verse 13. When you say those words with intention, you're not just reciting, you're building a wall of light around your spirit. 3. Cleanse your energy like you cleanse your body. You wouldn't wear the same clothes for days without washing them, right? So why do we walk around with energy that's been cluttered by stress, conflict, or negativity? Your energy needs cleansing too. Simple ways to do this: smudge your space with sage or incense. Salt baths. Add a handful of sea salt to your bath. It clears heavy energy. Visualize pure white light flowing over you like a shower, washing away anything that doesn't belong. These rituals aren't extras. They're self-care for your soul. 4. Know the signs of a spiritual attack. Let's be clear, not everything bad that happens is a spiritual attack. But when things hit harder than they should, when doubt shows up out of nowhere, or when your peace suddenly disappears, you need to pay attention. Signs may include feeling suddenly lost or hopeless, struggling to pray or connect spiritually, negative thoughts playing on repeat, conflict popping up everywhere, deep heaviness or fatigue without a clear reason. When this happens, don't panic. You're not broken. You're under pressure. And pressure doesn't mean defeat. It means it's time to fight back with faith. Pray stronger. Speak louder. Lean deeper into the light. You've got this. 5. Don't let fear in. Stand in faith. The greatest weapon the enemy uses against a chosen one is fear, because fear clouds judgment. Fear weakens resolve. Fear makes you forget who you are. But listen carefully. You were not chosen to be afraid. You were chosen to walk in boldness, to lead, to shine, to rise. So when fear knocks on your door, don't open it. When doubt whispers, speak truth louder. When confusion comes, return to your source. Say it with me. I am covered. I am protected. I am not alone. No weapon formed against me will prosper. Final thought, guard the light within. Your spirit is a flame. And in this world, winds will try to blow it out. But when you protect that flame, nurture it, cover it, feed it, it becomes a fire that lights the way not just for you, but for others too. So protect your peace. Protect your purpose. Protect your light. Because you are not just living, you are leading. And the world needs the chosen ones to stay strong, stay clear, and stay spiritually protected. Secret 10. Stay rooted in your connection to the divine. This is it, the heart of everything, the most important secret of all. Because without a strong, steady connection to the divine, none of the other lessons can truly take root. This connection is your spiritual oxygen. It's the source of your strength, your peace, your clarity, and most of all, your purpose. As someone chosen to walk a higher path, life may hit you harder, and the noise of the world can pull you in 1,000 different directions. But when your connection to the divine is unshakable, you'll find your way again and again. Make time for sacred connection. Let's be real. Life gets busy. Between work, family, responsibilities, and distractions, it's easy to push spiritual time to the bottom of your list. But here's the truth. Nothing is more dangerous than disconnecting from your source. Without it, you're like a lamp unplugged. No matter how beautiful or well-built, you can't shine without power. So set aside time every day, even just a few quiet minutes, to connect. You might call it prayer, meditation, or reflection. Whatever it is for you, make it sacred. Make it yours. In those still moments, you align with something greater. You hear guidance that doesn't shout but whispers. You're reminded that you're not walking this path alone. Even Jesus, while performing miracles and teaching crowds, took time to step away, to be still, to pray. Luke 5, verse 16. If he needed time to connect with the Father, how much more do we? Learn to truly listen. Most people talk to God, but very few listen. We pour out our worries and requests, but forget to wait for the response. The divine speaks constantly, through our intuition, through people, through signs, and through the quiet nudges in our hearts. Learning to hear those messages takes practice. It takes stillness. Sometimes, it just means turning off the noise, TV, social media, or even our own anxious thoughts and tuning in. Spiritual listening isn't mystical. It's deeply human. It's that gut feeling, that sudden clarity, that dream that felt too real to ignore. When you learn to listen deeply, you'll realize the answers you've been looking for have been within you all along. Surrender to divine timing. Now, here's the twist. Staying connected isn't just about practices. It's about trust. And trust often shows up as surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to control everything. It means saying, I don't know how this will all work out, but I trust that it will. It means understanding that even when life feels messy or unfair, there's a deeper wisdom at work. As a chosen one, your path might not always make sense to others or even to yourself. But every challenge, every detour, every heartbreak is shaping you for something bigger. Don't fight the process. Trust it. Surrender to it. Flow with it. When you do, you'll stop chasing peace and start living in it. Lean on faith when the road gets hard. There will be days when your faith gets tested, when nothing makes sense and your heart feels heavy. You'll wonder if you're really chosen or if you've just been fooling yourself. In those moments, remember, faith isn't the absence of doubt. It's a decision to keep going anyway. You're not alone. You never were. The divine doesn't abandon those it calls. It walks beside them, even when the path goes dark. Faith is the bridge between confusion and clarity, between fear and courage. It's your anchor in the storm, your compass when you're lost. Final words to the chosen ones. Your journey is sacred. Your mission is real. And your connection to the divine is what will carry you through every trial, every triumph, every transformation. Stay grounded. Stay faithful. Protect your energy and stay in alignment with your higher calling. You were never meant to walk this path alone. You're being guided every step of the way. If this message touched your spirit, give a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next message meant for your soul. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's grow together as a community of souls seeking more light, more strength, and more purpose. Until next time, stay protected, stay connected, and above all, stay faithful. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Also, turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. See you in the next one.